Thinking about moving to Austin but overwhelmed by all the great neighborhoods? Don't worry, I've got it narrowed down to the top 7 best ones, and by the end of this, you will know which one fits your lifestyle and budget. We're covering everything from walkable downtown condos to funky South Austin bungalows to those family-friendly ones with the good school districts, and I'm going to give you the pros and cons of each one so you don't end up in the wrong neighborhood. So let's get started. If you're the type who thrives on rooftop happy hours, walking to work, and being in the center of it all, downtown Austin is your playground. Have a look here and you can see a little bit what it looks like from all those tall buildings, high-rise condos, and on Lady Bird Lake. So if you're in one of the ones near Rainy Street or up the front of the South, you may even have water views. Now, downtown Austin is known for music venues, restaurants, and that party vibe. So if you want to be right in the middle, in the thick of it all, this is your spot. There's all types of entertainment downtown, and I'm just going to show you a few. Like, you have something as simple as the Blind Pig Pub, Maggie Mae's, and Shakespeare's all on the same corner, or all on the same block, I should say, and they all have live music. You have Pete's Piano Dueling Bar, you have $2, Coyote Ugly's Saloon, then you come down the other end, you have Happy Chick's Chicken, Voodoo Donuts. Voodoo Donuts is worth a call out because you have to see the types of donuts they have there. They have the most extravagant, expensive donuts you can imagine. But if you see here, they put all those fancy toppings on there and they're life-size, very large. Right next to Pete's Piano Bar, we have Casino El Camino. It's been on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. If you follow the Food Network, it's one of those shows that goes around the nation, and Diners, Drive-Ins, or Dives, this one happens to be a dive, gets called out. And one of the reasons for it is this beautiful Bloody Mary right here, but more importantly, it's because of their burgers. They have some of the best burgers in the nation. I highly recommend you try it if you're in the area. And then lastly, while we're downtown, we can't talk about the downtown without talking about the Texas Capitol, right in the thick of things. It's a beautiful tour if you want to go throughout the inside, and it's one of the things Austin is proud of. And if you live downtown, you can walk to it any time of the day. Downtown Austin, as far as public school systems go, it feeds into Austin High, and on niche.com, it was voted #1 out of 63 for best young professionals. So generally speaking, living downtown lends itself to walkability, nightlife, luxury condos, conveniences to offices. What's not so great about it, it's a high cost of living, limited space, and parking is an absolute headache. Average close price down in the downtown area for condos is about $700 a square foot. From downtown, we're going south. If you love live music, funky food trucks, and that keep Austin weird energy, South Austin is where you'll want to call home. So we kind of have 3 parts to South Austin. If you'll notice, here is the Colorado River that splits the middle of town. We were just right here in the downtown area. And in this South Austin portion, we have kind of like 3 strips, a left, a middle, and a right. The left strip is called the Zilker area because it's closest to Zilker Park. The middle strip is Bouldin Creek, and then the right strip closest to Highway I-35 or Interstate I-35 is Travis Heights. Those are the 3 main neighborhoods that make up the South Austin parcel. And over here on the Zilker side, it is one of the favorite parts of town because you are right butting up to the Barton Creek Greenbelt, Barton Springs Pool, and the Zilker Park where they have the ACL Festival. This is the shining star of Austin. One of many things, but it is a natural spring-fed pool that brings people from all around the state. All the tourists go out here and hang out. Below it, people can take their dogs. That's an open area, but inside the Barton Springs pool, it's a fenced-off area. You can see these hillsides. People go out there and lounge about, and there's a big diving board. Temperature stays around 72 degrees all year long, so people love to go there in both the winter and the summer. Now, there are cool eating places and restaurants all throughout, really cool funky coffee shops all throughout South Austin, but in Bouldin Creek, I just want to point out the Bouldin Creek Cafe. It's a big veggie-centered cafe, very Austin, South Austin unique vibe. All the vegan, veggie, and coffee options you can ever imagine. Bouldin Creek Cafe. And then over on the Travis Heights side of things, again, more restaurants on South Congress. The edge of Travis Heights is SoCo, South Congress, that has, you know, restaurants and Continental Club, live music, all those things. But we're just pointing out the Stacy Neighborhood Park because that is one of the areas you can get to and hang out outdoors. It's got a couple of tennis courts there, some picnic tables, little walking areas, and it's a great place to just go and kind of relax in the middle of the neighborhood. As we zoom out here, the main thing that you can see here is you've got the Lady Bird Lake nearby, and it's mostly in walking distance if you live in the upper half of this kind of South Austin area, or you can get on that bicycle and ride up there. Keep in mind, the more west you get, meaning more over here towards the Zilker Park area, there's a little bit more hills. So you're gonna have a little bit more opportunity to have kind of a rolling terrain, a panoramic view over here on this western side of it. Prices usually tend to be a little bit higher on that side. And speaking of prices, average price per square foot is around $630. So generally speaking, people that live in this area of town want quirky homes, live music, unique restaurants, funky vibe, vibrant culture, and close to all that Barton Springs and trail system. You know, what's the trade-off? Well, it's pretty expensive over there, and traffic. Traffic can be pretty bad, and let's talk about parking. Because of all those restaurants and all the entertainment areas within those neighborhoods, the street parking is rough, and a lot of the homes in those areas don't have garages, so you're gonna be street parking even if you own a home sometimes. So what they've had to do is go in and offer or add kind of like homeowner parking stickers or parking permits so that you even have a place to park. So during festival times, this part of town gets very congested. But if you're looking for cool, funky vibes, this is it. And before we move on, this area of town is large enough to have a few different schools that it feeds into. So you're going to be feeding into high schools I'm talking about. You're going to be feeding into Austin High, Travis Early College, and Crockett High. And depending on which school zone you live in, prices are going to differ. In this particular area, Austin High would command the highest value, then Travis Early College, and then Crockett coming in third. All right, let's move on. We are heading to Hyde Park. So here was where we just were, down here south of the river. Now we're going up here to Hyde Park. It is north of the University of Texas campus. And if you're drawn to like historic charm, tree-lined streets, and being close to UT without all the chaos of the traffic, this Hyde Park is your sweet spot. Super walkable, big trees, and lots of character. So Hyde Park is ideal if you appreciate history and architecture, want to be able to walk to these coffee shops. There's this one little corner in town that has a bakery, the original Hyde Park Grill, my favorite cheese store in all of time, Mexican food and Italian food, all in the same area. So I have to point out this Hyde Park Bar and Grill. It's just a part of tradition, history, if you will. They always have this cool, funky fork out front with some food on top of it, but this right here, these fries, this is what they're known for. These are scrumptious fries. You must try them, Hyde Park Grill. Next, we go to Quack's Bakery, same little block of town. You know, if you need the good sweets, the pies, the croissants and all that, Quack's Bakery has it for you. And then we must show you Antonelli's cheese. Best cheese shop in town. They import it over. It's all so fresh. And you know what the best part is? You get to taste it in the store. Anything you want to try, you can taste. Look at all the choices they have in there. It is absolutely completely diverse. You'll have some from France and Italy, all over Europe, and then you'll have some from Wisconsin, and you'll have some from Fredericksburg. So anything you're looking in there to be a little bit different, offer that new little appetizer for the party, this is where you want to go. So people that are drawn to Hyde Park, they love kind of that historical architecture charm, tree-lined streets. It's pretty close to UT, so you're gonna find a lot of professors and students living in there because it's so convenient. And it's just got a lot of character. The trade-offs, some of the lots are really small. You're gonna find some really small bungalow homes, and it's a bit pricier than the suburbs. But speaking of price, average closed price per square foot is about $500 a square foot. As per niche.com, they are number 5 in the best neighborhood to live in Austin. That's number 5 out of 63, so pretty good. And for the schools, this one would be feeding into McCallum High School. From Hyde Park, we're gonna head over Central West. So Hyde Park right up here north of the university. Now we're going to go to Clarksville and Tarrytown. It kind of hovers around the Mopac Expressway here, but it's basically between downtown and the lake for ease of use there. So Clarksville and Tarrytown, the person that moves there is the prestige buyer. If you want to have timeless luxury, lake access, and one of the most prestigious zip codes in Austin, this one's for you. So there are a few outdoor activities to do in this area. You will also have a few restaurants over here on the Lamar Boulevard area and then over here on the Lake Austin Boulevard. The first park we're gonna point out is Peace Park, home to the annual Eeyore Festival. Yes, you know Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore. A great time. It's a very interesting park. As you can see the artwork here, lots of designs and sculptures and things in the park. And then during the Eeyore birthday, you're going to have drum circles, food trucks, and it's just a big celebration every year. Here's one last picture of what you can expect in Peace Park. The other outdoor activity in this part of town, I mean, it's not the only one, but just one that we're gonna point out and highlight today is the Lions Municipal Golf Course. Been there 100 years. It's a muni, so anyone can play, and it is right in the thick of things. So there's an ongoing battle of whether they're gonna sell it and let it be developed into condos, or if they're gonna keep it this golf course, because look at this, you're right here on the lake frontage almost, and that is just prime real estate. So there's a fight to save Muni, and then there's a fight that somebody wants to buy it, tear that golf course down, and build something new. So stay tuned for what happens. Right now, it's staying Muni, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. In this part of town, you're gonna find professionals, longtime Austinites, and luxury buyers. You know, they want that central location, able to just get into town super quick, able to get to the lake super easily, and you're gonna have some of those rolling terrain views in the area. The trade-off, the cons about the area, well, it's super expensive and there's limited inventory. Not a lot comes up for sale in there because people want to keep it and give it to their kids and give it to their kids and so on and so forth, if you get my idea. And speaking of those prices, the average sold price per square foot is around $700. Up next, Central East Austin. We're basically just going straight across town. We're making a lateral move from right over here on the west side to the east side. So Central East Austin, think trendsetter. If your vibe is like coffee shops, craft cocktails, and sleek modern builds mixed in with some of Austin's original bungalows, then this has your name all over it. Think about young entrepreneurs, creatives, and transplants from other cities. These people are looking for culture, a cool vibe, walkable, nightlife. I'm gonna show you some spots here in a minute. You know, a mix of modern and old, all in the same spot. You know, the payoffs can be, sometimes there's a bit of a gentrification concern in there while these new builds are going in. It's pushing out the mom and pops that have lived there for a very long time because they can't afford the taxes anymore. The schools, not so great on the east side, and you're gonna have smaller lot sizes. But if you can deal with those things, maybe you don't have kids, east can be super cool. In fact, niche.com voted the East Central Austin number 5 out of 63 neighborhoods in best for young professionals in Austin. There's a few entertainment districts on the east side. First is East Cesar Chavez here. Next is this East 6th Street here. And then we have yet another one over here at this Rosewood Avenue. And then if you keep coming up to Mueller up here, or sorry, Manor up here, you have another area with some hot spots. So it's got a lot of entertainment within the area, and that makes housing quite diverse. So if you live closer to the commercial districts, it's gonna be a totally different vibe than if you live in one of the pockets that is more kind of protected with more homes around you. What you're not gonna find is big master plan communities on the east side. So on East Chavez, you've got restaurants, bars, just like normal on 6th Street. Then on East 6th, same thing. You've got breweries, you've got restaurants, bars, live music scenes. I'll show you one here at Hotel Vegas. It's one of the rather large bars in that it has inside and outside seating, so they can have 2 or 3 bands going on at the same time there in that place. You will also have the White Horse, which is one of my favorite little spots in town because it's just a modern day honky tonk. They have dance lessons there if you haven't done it before, but it's just so super small and quaint that you never have a bad spot in the room. And if you want to dance, this place is going to be the place to be able to do it. You're right up next to the band. And they also have an outdoor seating area where you can go out there and get some food from a food truck. So a little bit of everything on the East 6 side of town. There's also like boutique hotels that run all up and down there, so you can stay right in the thick of it as well. As far as clothes price, it's averaging around $510 a square foot on the east side. And schools, there are quite a few different schools that it feeds into because it's a pretty large swath of land. But overall, school systems are not as great on the east side as they are in the other parts of town. Up next, Rosedale and Allendale. We were here right down here on the east side, and now we're going right up here. It's kind of in the general area of where Hyde Park started and then going a little bit north from there. So Rosedale, we're kind of calling it the family starter. You know, you're ready to trade that apartment life for a yard, good schools, and a true neighborhood feel. Rosedale and Crestview are these areas like that. The vibe here is kind of a bit more on the family vibe side, and you're going to have kind of first-time buyers moving up from condos and apartments in this area. And what most people are looking for is those good school systems and that neighborhood feel. And it still has a bit of a walkable vibe to it as well. What's not so great is it's hard to find homes in these areas for a good price, for a low price. You can't find it for a low price, and there's fierce competition for the good ones that do come available. In these neighborhoods, you will have some pocket parks in there. You are very close to Lamar, Burnett Road corridor. You're gonna have all the restaurants and things up and down the Burnett Road corridor. And I can't go without mentioning the Little Longhorn Saloon because it is basically a throwback in time. They have live music there. It is country music. And they have the famous chicken shit bingo. Here it is. So you bet on a number, the chicken goes around, the first place he poops, that's the winning numbers. It's super fun. And my mom even won one time. It was so much fun. The types of homes you're gonna find in this neighborhood, you're going to find basically mid-century modern unless it's been torn down and rebuilt. And that is happening a lot in this neighborhood because the price of the land is so valuable. People just want to live there so much. And before we move on, I do want to show another one of my favorite restaurants in the Fonda San Miguel restaurant because it's just so pretty inside. It's true Mexican art on the inside, true Mexican decoration, and true Mexican margaritas. So yummy. For the most part, this part of town, you're going to be feeding into McCallum High, and prices per square foot are right around $530. And last but not least, we're heading over to Mueller. We were right over here, just kind of the same latitude across town. We're hopping over here into Mueller. And Mueller, we're calling it the community builder. If you want like weekend farmers markets, walkable parks, and a huge master plan community with a strong sense of community, this is the one for you. So in Mueller, you're going to find a lot of professionals who just want that neighborhood feel. Most people have front porches and they have back alleys for the driveway to really create that opportunity for neighbors to talk to each other. The trade-off, there are a lot of HOA rules, you got higher fees involved, and there's a little bit less weird in the area because of said rules. But overall, it's a great neighborhood to live in, near, or through. You've got this Mueller neighborhood lake park that is just really, really pretty to walk around. You've got a hiking trail all throughout the neighborhood. They have kids' parks and picnic structures and playgrounds and things for them to play in. And then as you can see, this walking path here that goes all through the neighborhood. And over here by the main area, the main park, you're going to have cinema at Alamo Drafthouse. You're going to have lots of restaurants. And of course, you're going to have my favorite pub in town, which is B.D. Riley's. It's an Irish pub that pours the perfect pint, or so they say. If we zoom out to another part of the neighborhood, the cool part is there are multiple kind of lake areas and pond areas in the neighborhood, and they have all this artwork throughout. You can see this spider here, this waterfall area. P.S. You can take your dogs off leash sometimes when no one's around, but you have to go really early or really late because you're not really supposed to. Another beautiful piece of artwork. You can see these crushed granite trails throughout. Some of it's paved and some of it's this crushed granite, but people take their dogs and walk back there all the time, and you'll even find some people fishing in these lakes. Then we have one more lake towards the very back, and it's actually one of my favorite lakes because it's less used, and therefore the ducks and the birds and all the things use it so often. It is such a pretty area. There's a bridge that goes across it. My friends and I take our camping chairs out there and meet each other there and have little picnics there all the time in the evening to watch the sunset, because it's just that pretty. And at any given moment, you're gonna find some kind of little bird like this one here. Lots of very pretty ducks because they stop here on their way through going north and south. Here's a little egret here, but it's just very pretty. And there are homes that are built all up along and off these lakes, so you can get really pretty views from some of the homes in the neighborhood too. And then right across the street, you have Morris Williams Golf Course, public 18 holes, perfectly fine set of golf holes. My only complaint there is it gets very slow because they allow fivesomes to play, and sometimes on the public courses, not everybody exactly knows how to play. But as far as the golf course goes, good track. So in this Mueller area overall, there are new schools that have gone in, some new elementary schools, so that is constantly changing as the community grows. And right now, you're about $450 a square foot to buy in this Mueller neighborhood specifically. The cool thing about Mueller is, though, there are so many different types of houses. They have homes with yards. They call them yard homes to be cool. They have townhomes, which are the connected walls, but all one unit. They have condos, which are stacked, and they have kind of everything in between. They have like 4-unit kind of fourplex, but it's not a fourplex, it's a condo. Anyway, there are many different styles so that it can hit a lot of different price points, but the overarching theme in the neighborhood all the time, always, is community, and it was built to be very close together so that you get to know your neighbors. If you like a community that has space and a little privacy, this isn't the one for you. So which of these 7 neighborhoods feels the most like you? Drop it in the comments below. I would love to know. And if you want to look at any of these homes in person to get a little bit more up close look, we're always around to help you find the perfect home that matches your lifestyle. All you have to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom call, and we'll be there to help you in an instant. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with other friends who also need this insider information about Austin neighborhoods. And until next time, be kind to yourself and others. I can't wait to see you around town.